Welcome back to AI-powered mapping for the ArcGIS web developer. Yesterday we combined feature layers with OpenAI to create a map that generated engaging insights about the map's data. Today we're going to be making querying feature layers easier by integrating speech-to-text functionality. All right, let's get started. Here's what we started out with yesterday. We had our basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files set up. Now, in the JavaScript file, we had added a feature layer to display state data on the map. It's important to note that today I'll be using just the US state name attribute from this feature layer. However, this similar approach can be applied using other attributes in really any other type of feature layer. First, we're going to need a way to trigger the speech-to-text process. To do this, in my HTML file, I'm going to start by adding a button to the page. And this button will sit in the top right corner and say, Start Listening. So now that we have our button set up, the next step is to really make it functional. And to do this, we're going to set up a click listener. First, I'll go ahead and select the button by its ID and attach an on-click event handler to it. Next, we're going to need a way to capture audio from the user. And for that, I'm going to use the browser's Media Recorder API. The navigator.mediadevices.getUserMedia function requests access to the user's microphone. And I'm passing in audio true to specifically request audio input. So if the user grants us permission, the API will give us an audio stream. Now with that stream, I can create a new media recorder object. And once I've created that, we're going to be passing in the audio stream to it. And now chunks is an array where I'll store small pieces of recorded audio as they come in. I'll now set up event handlers to collect audio data and process it when the recording finishes. So recording.onDataAvailable is triggered whenever a new audio chunk is available. And I'm passing in each chunk into the array. And then recorder.onStop will be called when recording stops. And here I combine all the chunks into a single blob object with the type audio webm and resolve the promise. Finally, I'll start the recorder and have it automatically stop after 4 seconds. Next, I'm going to send the base64 audio to Google's speech-to-text API to get the transcript. Now this part is done with a post request to the API endpoint. And in the body, I specify the audio format, the sample rate, and the language. And the response is going to contain the transcript, which I will extract using .map and .join to combine the transcript text together. Once I have the transcript, I'm going to analyze it to extract location entities, like the state name in our case, using Google's natural language API. So I do this by sending a fetch request to that endpoint with a post request. And in the body, I'm going to use type of just plain text, and of course the content is going to be my transcript. And finally, once I get the response here, we're going to ensure that we are looking for just entities like location. So I'm extracting out the first location entity, which should be the state name. Of course, in an application like this, you would want to give specific instructions to the user to request only state names, since, of course, locations aren't always just going to be US state names. So finally, I'm going to query the map's feature layer to find and highlight the state. So to do this, we're using the query features method to search for states that match the extracted keyword. And I'll be using a SQL query to compare the name to the keyword that we have extracted, and we'll be sure to trim it and make it uppercase. We'll go ahead and use all of our fields here, and we will return our geometry. And then finally, we are going to take those results, ensure that there are no current graphics being shown on our screen, So really this just removes potentially any other times which we've highlighted a different state. And then I will go ahead and highlight the state that I'm looking for based on the color and outline that I'm giving it here. All right, now let's go ahead and test this out. I'll click the Start Listening button and say, show me Texas. And then Texas is highlighted. Let me try something else. Find the state of California for me. And there it is. So in both cases, I was able to give a different kind of prompt, ensuring that I said a state name somewhere within that prompt, and that state was then highlighted on the feature layer. And there we have it. Today, we integrated speech-to-text using the Google Cloud API to query feature layers with your voice. See you again tomorrow for more exciting AI and mapping integrations. And, as always, happy coding!